Do you sometimes compare yourself to others and then beat yourself up for not measuring up? Just how confident do you feel in these moments? How accepted and loved and how open to accepting love from others do you feel when you are playing the comparison game? In this video, we'll explore 3 techniques for an alternative strategy that results in more love, connection, and acceptance of yourself and others. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow.
You are on my mind. I can't control my body. Can't control my body.
So we have been enculturated to compare ourselves to others and then beat ourselves up for not measuring up. Our self-worth is bound to cultural models that criticize and communicate to us that there's always something that could be done better. There is a hidden belief that I'm a nothing or nobody and I have to find myself by looking outwards. It's the type 4 personality structure within us that associates as our emotions, and it is driven by envy. It's when you feel like you've lost yourself and you don't know who you are, so you look everywhere to find it, constantly envious of what everyone else has and looking outside of yourself for what is going to fit. The desire to somehow win or somehow be on top shows up as having conditional self-esteem and endless comparative judgments about how you're doing compared to other people. No one can win every time at everything. There will always be someone smarter, better looking, more creative, more successful, with more hair or whatever. So of course you're going to come up against losing in the face of comparison a lot. And each time that's going to lead to feelings of not being good enough, which is a huge trigger for gay men who have grown up receiving messages about their place in the world and feeling they need to prove themselves worthy of love and acceptance. There's a subconscious belief that we have to prove ourselves in some way, whether that's being artistic or popular or intelligent or beautiful or physically fit. We usually feel we have to be strong in that area for people to love us. And we imagine that it's because of our excellent qualities that people will love and accept us. So when we are doing this, we are actually seeking love in the form of finding ourselves and being individual enough to stand out. And then there's the reverse. So when we feel loved, we start feeling, hey, I must be special. It all of a sudden becomes very validating to us that we are worthy enough to be loved. So it reinforces the behavior and the belief that I must be a somebody in order to get the love that I deserve. I must be intelligent or gorgeous or talented or loving or whatever it might be. So these 2 factors, needing to win to feel good enough and chasing validation, interact with one another because we all need to be loved, connected, and accepted. It's because of these needs that we become so preoccupied with all of the doing. The constant doing on behalf of becoming good enough for what we want ends up taking over, and we miss out on what it is that we set out for in the first place. So this strategy of being a somebody or something to gain love, connection, and acceptance actually pits us up against each other, creating a divide of judgment, criticism, and disconnection. This is a learnt strategy, and it can be unlearned and replaced with something more empowering that actually gets you what you want much faster. 3 things you can do to disengage from the comparison game are: first, make a connection, not an impression. So stop looking for ways to become good enough. Stop trying to win in everything because it's impossible to maintain the winning position. So instead of finding a way to win, look for ways to connect with people. Is there some way to connect as a fellow human being to this other person where your worry isn't what they're going to think of you or if you are good enough? Is there a way to move it into the dimension of connecting? The second way is to disengage from the game. There's so much cultural belief that the answer comes from winning and staying on top that most people don't see the goal as, let me disengage from the game. They see the goal as, let me win the game. And the way I tend to work with people is, how can I help them disengage from this game? Not entirely, you're still going to have these reactions, but to not identify so much with these different reactions all the time. When you detach from the game, you find space to be your authentic self. Thirdly is cultivating inner compassion. So there's this technique where you can cultivate self-compassion, to be able to find a way to hold yourself, to have a sense of okayness or being loved in the moment of when your self-esteem collapses, which it will from time to time. So not, oh, I'm not a loser, I'm a winner, but I can feel a sense of love and self-acceptance even in the moment of self-esteem collapse. Not by rising back up to the top of the competitive pile, but by simply feeling a sense of love for yourself wherever you happen to be right now. Don't compare yourself to other people, compare yourself to yourself. When you're trying to make some progress in life, compare yourself to where you were. And if you made a little bit of progress in the right direction, then you're doing well. Practice these three things: connection over impression, disengaging from the game, and inner compassion. And instead of becoming envious of others, find ways to appreciate them instead. This will help you to stop the comparison game and stop the judgments that you're having on yourself in the face of others.